Black Lightning issue 1, a story that I can't say that I was highly anticipating because up until me looking into Absolute Comic stuff, I didn't even know existed. I found this book when I was looking at doing some research for Absolute Comics with Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, obviously. And I found this, was interested in it, thought I'd give it a read, and I was so impressed with what I saw that I wanted to make a video and give you guys hopefully some interest in checking this book out as well. But again, all that being aside, if you want to check out more of what this book has to offer, stick around. Let's get into it.
You're now watching The Captain.
So Black Lightning historically within comics, media, animation, movies, all that good stuff is really underutilized in my opinion. We've seen him in different animated stuff like the Young Justice series, and he's even had his own CW show that I thought started pretty well from my perspective, but a lot of people think really negatively on by the end of the series. So he hasn't had the best turnout and track record in regards to content that he's been front and center in. Also, historically, he hasn't been a member of the Justice League. He's been one of those guys that's known for not wanting to be a part of most teams. And besides being utilized in those mediums, I feel like he's not really utilized to the best extent in his original medium, being that of comic books. We don't see him on too many teams for the factor of that he likes to work by himself, and I, at least personally, haven't seen him in too many of his own solo issues. So seeing this issue and how this not just involving him, but it's also involving his daughters is really dope to see. For you who aren't aware, his daughters are Anissa and Jennifer Pierce as well, going by the names of Lightning and Thunder. Jennifer has lightning-based abilities similar to her father, and Anissa has her abilities more focused in sound and her having super strength and things of that nature. So it's dope to see them. But in this particular issue, like I said before, it's not just Jefferson, but it's a family affair with those two being brought along the ride. And we start the issue out with kind of showing that this book is going to help to fill in the gaps in regards to what's happening at the fall off of Absolute Power. For you who didn't read Absolute Power, it essentially just showcased a story where Amanda Waller worked with other villains, I think most prevalently being one of Batman's villains by the name of Failsafe, and they worked to create a machine or machines that suck the abilities out of 80% of the heroes in the DC universe. So if you had a power set or a skill set, you was gobbled up by Amanda Waller and sat in prison, or if you were a person that didn't have any powers, you were more than likely detained pretty easily because you don't have superpowers. So this obviously is showcasing that a lot of the heroes fought back, got their powers back, rah, 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 happy day. But the interesting thing at the tail end of that was that not all the heroes got their abilities back. And some of the heroes got abilities that weren't theirs back, or even their abilities were changed, or some powers were even boosted up to a different level. So this event now, I think in a Fallout, has a lot of potential here because you can have a lot more characters have their status quo changed. If the character was too strong, you can weaken them a little bit to make their stories more interesting, and vice versa. And this story seems to be one of them. And starting off in this story, we're showcasing Jefferson Pierce doing something that I feel like is a dope thing to see more Black men doing, in him going to therapy. He's kind of addressing a lot of the PTSD he has from almost losing his daughters in the moment in time where they all lost their abilities trying to help someone, and they almost died in this conflict. And he's kind of dealing with that. And the thing that I enjoy about this the most is historically in comic books, we don't necessarily see Black people depicted in the best way. And I don't just mean the old school like 60s way where you had a lot of Uncle Tom and racism stuff going on with that whole issue there, but I'm meaning more so in the lack of authenticity in regards to how Black people conversate and the being a part of the monolith that most media sees Black people as historically. Having a story like this, though, where you see Jefferson Pierce being a present, supportive father, as well as being somebody who's going to therapy and getting assistance with a lot of things going on in his mind, even additionally being a great co-parent, having conversations with his ex-wife, because his ex-wife being his therapist in this moment in time. It's dope. It's just dope to see all this stuff kind of showcased in a book that's being put out there to the masses. And I just wanted to give props to the writer Brandon Thomas, as well as the other creators who worked to write this book and create this book. Again, shout out to them. Editor, please put the names of the people that worked to write this book somewhere in the video, just to kind of give people a little bit of insight of who to give their props to. Moving forward into the story, like I said before, we're finishing up this therapy session where Black Lightning's kind of dealing with the burnout and the PTSD of him and his daughters losing their abilities and almost passing out and dying. Or then fast forwarded to an instance where Black Lightning was called away to do some assistance and hero work, and brought his daughter Jennifer along for the ride. They arrive on a scene to a guy by the name of Isaac Mitchell, who is kind of panicking right now because Isaac Mitchell seems to be developing metahuman abilities for the first time and is kind of being really destructive with them, as you would see most people do, kind of akin to a lot of the X-Men stuff where they at first unlock their mutant X gene. And the police obviously feel unsafe because, you know, there's this guy that can blow your head up that's sitting right over there that you're trying to get to save or maybe neutralize. And he's obviously under a lot of duress because he has people pointing guns at him outside of a door that are trying to get to him. But lo and behold, Black Lightning and Jennifer get onto the scene and take Mr. Isaac and transport him to something called the shoebox, which seems to be a variant area or just a sub part of the Watchtower itself. We then find through Jefferson Pierce that not only were the heroes getting their abilities snatched and brought back and working in weird ways, but the events of Absolute Power sought to create a lot of random people unlocking meta genes and meta abilities throughout the world. So you're having something very similar to the X-Men stories, to where these different kids or even adults are unlocking mutations in their bodies and giving them abilities, and they just don't know how to control them. So they're potentially putting everyone they love at risk by maybe flambeing your mom or electrocuting your dad. You never know what's gonna happen there. And Jefferson Pierce has this initiative that he is going out with his daughter or other people and bringing these meta-humans to the Watchtower or taking them to a subsect location to train them and show them how to control their abilities, and even giving them power dampeners to help them live normal lives so that they don't kill themselves or their family, they're at a danger to other people. Side note, I gotta talk about who's bankrolling Justice League activities at this point. I know historically Batman is the one that's given a lot of money to the Justice League and a lot of the stuff that they do, but at some point, damn, somebody else gotta kick in $1, like bruh. But all that aside, moving forward into the story, we then see, after the explanation that Black Lightning has with Isaac, letting him know everything there as far as the initiative of the shoebox and everything going on with that, we then jump to another conversation that Anissa and Jennifer seem to be having because they're on the phone. So Jennifer walked off and had a little quick phone call with her sister. And I really love this dynamic that they have here in regards to how, again, Black people are written. They're having this conversation that seems like a conversation that I would see another Black woman make with another Black woman. It seems very authentic, and it doesn't seem like it's forced or like jive is being used or slang is being used in this to kind of force it, or even inauthentic slang, you know what I mean? It just feels natural, at least from my perspective. Other Black people, if you feel the same way or don't feel the same way, y'all let me know in the comments below. But moving forward, we're finding out that Anissa kind of has a little bit of a strange relationship with her family now. She's being very distant, she's not visiting as often, and they all want to see her, obviously, and she's just being very distant. And we're just finding out that this is all probably coming on the tail end of Absolute Power. I did not read enough to kind of understand a little bit of the details of why she's so distant, but I'm excited to kind of find out more as this series goes on forward. Moving into the scene, we're seeing that somebody with metahuman abilities that seems to be electrical based is jumped outside of a train and is kind of on top of it and not really knowing what to do. She's kind of panicking with her power set. And we see Jennifer rush over to assist her. Another sub story that is kind of within the story is that Jennifer is kind of looking to move from within her father's shadow, looking to be a little bit more independent and wants her dad to trust her to do superhero things. That whole trope you normally see with kids wanting to grow up too fast, obviously, it happens. This in particular is showing that because Jennifer ran so fast, Jefferson is obviously trailing a little bit further behind. But as Jennifer arrived to the girl first and she's giving the whole spiel of, hey, I'm here to help you, these are things that we can do, blah, 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 blah. She looks at the girl's face and notices that it's somebody that she recognizes and is kind of bewildered for a second. And as Jefferson is making his way up to them, the electrical girl kind of panics and like backhands Jennifer, and they both fall off the train. Jennifer is obviously knocked out because she got smacked hard as hell. Black Lightning is then having a little bit of another PTSD flashback from, again, falling, trying to save his daughters, and obviously does the thing that you would expect every father to do in grabbing his actual daughter first, and they fall to the ground, and he decides to look over after deciding to save his daughter and seeing that the person that was electrified and having all that issue with their powers was his other daughter, Anissa. And she seems to have developed new abilities that are more electrical. Because remember, like I said in the beginning of the video, Anissa, Thunder, doesn't have any electrical based abilities historically. It's usually based on like super strength and maybe super speed. So it seems like Absolute Power is giving her new abilities, or giving her amped up abilities maybe that were dormant that she had before that she didn't know about. I'm kind of excited to see what this looks like, but at the same time, I'm a little disappointed because if you're just giving his other daughter electrical abilities and you're just having this whole family be electrical in nature, it's kind of disappointing, man. I would have loved to see just more diversity in regards to how their abilities worked, or even the abilities that they had. I thought it'd been a little bit cooler if you take away her ability she had and gave her like another random skill set, maybe making her like a pyrokinetic, or maybe giving her like Iceman abilities. I don't know, giving her something a little bit more unique than electrical abilities. And again, this is me speaking preemptively because at this moment in time, we don't know what the definite details on her abilities are. But again, I'm hoping to see some more uniqueness in regards to that skill set down the line. But y'all let me know what you think below in the comments in regards to how you feel about this story and the characters and maybe blacklighting historically. Again, if you want to see more videos like this and you guys want to support me as a channel, highly appreciate it if you guys subscribe to the channel, and please hit that like button. When you like these videos, it helps YouTube to not bury different videos of smaller creators in the algorithm, but pushes them out to people that would enjoy them the same way you may have watching this video. And again, this has been Captain Diesel of Captain Diesel Dojo, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.